MandrakeCalvin, or more known on the internet as Mandrake, is a YouTuber with over 45,000 subscribers. And he gained that popularity by covering content that not a lot of people cover. The topic of mass shootings. And he covered this through a supposed comedic lens. His bio states, satirical channel that makes fun of school/mass shooters from a comedic perspective, meant to help with de-radicalization. All jokes are made at the expense of the people spoken about, not the victims. And he is quite successful on YouTube, with over 3 million views on his channel and multiple videos with hundreds of thousands of views. He is on track to be quite successful. But behind all this success, on the surface, was someone who is sick. Someone who used their position as a YouTuber to take advantage of his fans and live out his sick fantasies. And it was happening for months. And when he got called out for it, he was just going to continue making videos. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of the document, let's take a look at who we're dealing with. Mandrake is no stranger to conflict on his YouTube channel. Not only has he been criticized for his content and his approach to it, which we're not going to be focusing on today because it isn't important to the accusations. But again, he's not shy of controversy. He's already had a video made about him 7 months ago when he only had 600 subscribers. And he recorded and published a video of him playing Unter Alterbach, which I'm really sorry if I mispronounced that name. The game is so bad. Like, it is probably one of the worst things you could play on YouTube and publish it. And he did this by himself. He just did this. This game contains children explicitly. The game claims to be a satire adult visual novel. But like, I think any game with underage characters in very explicit, very explicit actions loses the idea of satire completely. And it is incredibly weird that someone would play this and post it on their YouTube. And it's not like he was critiquing the game or anything. He was just playing through this and being his old jovial, joking self, which I feel like that's a really weird way to handle this game. And looking back on it, it's pretty telling of what a person Mandrake is. The way he handled the situation anyways was absolutely horrid. Thinking of the YouTuber Lily who brought all of these up, and she did get clowned on quite a bit when these first came out because, as we'll see, Mandrake's fans are a bunch of prime 4chan users. Which, I mean, when you're making content about this, you're probably gonna get some of the worst people on the internet to be your fans no matter what. You get a lot of people from odd corners of the internet. And I remember I had a chance to speak to him myself, one-on-one, before these allegations came out. I asked him, do you hate your fans? And he said yes. Like, he doesn't even like the fans that he has left. He doesn't like the 4chan users or the comm kids. He hates them. But there were some fans that he was quite fond of, and in a very disturbing way. It's alleged that Mandrake engaged in very serious and very inappropriate activity with his underage fans. Let's take a look at the document. As most YouTubers would do with a sizable fan base, Mandrake decided to create a Discord server for his community and fans. He had multiple of these Discords, which is indicative of a pattern that's really bad because of the multitude of controversies he had in these Discords. And instead of using these Discords as a way to interact with his fan base or to have fun with them, he used it as a landing spot to pounce on his victims. From the doc, it says, it didn't matter to him how old the person was. He would ask them to say they were 18 and would deliberately add the 18+ rule from his server so people wouldn't suspect a thing. His Discord server was basically a grooming haven for him to select whoever he wanted and would ban anyone that accused him of pedophilia. And like any other case like this, it didn't stay in the server at all, no. It went straight to DMs In these DMs, he'd encourage these underage girls to play along with his fantasies. He'd ask them for feet pics. And after doing this, he'd ask them to change the age in their bio to 18, which means he knew that they weren't 18 when he was doing this. And Calvin was 21. Calvin knew exactly what he was doing. It was almost as if it was all planned out. And this was how he would do it all the time. And he knows exactly how wrong it is. Wait, how old are you? Okay, wait. I should have asked that before the feet pics. 17? Okay, but I jerked off to them. Okay, just, tell everyone you're 18. Thanks. Do me a favor and change your age in your bio to 18. LFMAO. I'll just remove my age. I mean, does that seem like someone who's going after legal adults and 18-year-olds? No, I mean, this is very clear and very obvious. This shows that Mandrake knows what he's doing is wrong and very, very weird. Not only is this weird, but telling a minor that you jerked off to him as an adult? That is incredibly fucked, dude. Now, this isn't a one-time or a two-time problem with Mandrake. No. Mandrake consistently in his Discord server would try to say that girls who are not over 18 were over 18. Mandrake would rather unconvincingly try to claim that these girls were actually 18 and above, and that him talking explicitly and inappropriately to these people was okay because they were adults, when they never were adults. Blank, how old are you? Want to talk in DMs? Are you cute? You'd think this is good, right? Like he's asking for their age. But I suspect that no matter her response, Mandrake would be in her DMs anyway. And even when he gets told that these people are not 18, he dismisses it and says stuff like this. Is Blank hot? Hey, Calvin, that's a 17-year-old. Let's keep it legal. No, she's not. She's 19. She was, in fact, not 19. There's more pathetic attempts at covering up his intentions as just jokes, which is one of Calvin's biggest defenses that he claimed. How old are you? Asked someone. All girls in here are 18. Lol. Right, ladies? You're all 18? I think Calvin is using this as a way to obfuscate some pressure off of him because he can now claim that they're just jokes. Even though in DMs we'll see later, they're very obviously not jokes. Mandrake will usually use this joking or ironic tone when it comes to these kind of things. He purposely tries to downplay his actions with the use of this tone, and he tries to act like it's all one big joke. I'm bad at grooming. I LARP groom. Seem cool. No, it's okay. You're really cool. Starts raping you, likes it. Hi. Have you ever been before? No, why? What race are you, racially? Asian, Italian, and Vietnamese? Starts grooming you, gets blank. Can I groom you? Joking about these things in the first place is a little fucking weird, but especially when you're joking about them, when you're joking about them with minors, that is very fucking indicative of who you are on the inside. And he isn't quiet about his actions either. Oh shit. We're basically sexual with everyone? Yes, this is my harem. Wow, you basically keep all those women in hand, including you. Blank, 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 all fucking each other. That would be so hot. At Mandrake, do you own every female in this server? Yeah, lol. We can share a blank and blank. Keep in mind that this is an adult talking about minors. And the harem that he's talking about, well, that is a private Discord server that he would invite all the women in his, all the girls in his public Discord server. So it could just be him and all of them. Calvin a lot of the time would use his like sad, down on his luck, sad boy emotional manipulation with these people, and it's pretty fucking pathetic to see. He'd claim that, God, if he ever gets exposed, then he'll lose YouTube, and the only thing he has that he has is YouTube, and he'll kill himself if he loses YouTube. I just get worried because this YouTube thing is like the only thing I have in my life, and if I lose it, I'm genuinely killing myself. Not to scare you. Sorry, I'm ruining the mood. But do you understand? I'm such a pessimistic person. Whenever I have something good, I'll worry about how it'll end. Hugs. Now, why would Calvin need to worry about how this ends? I mean, I'm sure there's nothing else other than what we've discussed that he's hiding. Right? Mandrake, of course, also has way more disturbing interactions on the internet with minors while being an adult himself, complaining about not receiving feet pics from them and saying that he is horny when they ask to call him. Keep in mind, these people are underage. He's asking to massage their feet or if he can touch them, which, sure, if you believe his out of context joke thing, which definitely all sound like out of context jokes, right, Calvin? It's so bad, but now we're getting into the more serious, really bad allegations, incredibly disturbing screenshots, and some really damning proof of Calvin admitting something incredibly illegal. In Discord, you can have group calls, and these calls can contain a number of people. And with a YouTuber of a sizable audience like Calvin, you'd assume that there would usually be calls in the server that he would be a part of sometimes. During some of these calls, though, Calvin decided to add a certain activity to these calls. An activity in Discord is when you can like play a game or watch something together with everyone in the call. And it's something that everyone can participate in, like Gardic Phone or YouTube Watch together. But Calvin decided that he wanted to watch something different with his underage fans. Calvin decided that he wanted to watch Pornhub together. Totally unfiltered, genuine porn. He was watching it with minors and exposing them to porn. That is incredibly illegal. And it's not just screenshots we have audio of him admitting it.
Actually, to any of them.
Well, so let's get into these watch party things. Did that happen?
Oh yeah.
Mandrake also holds a desire to commit crimes against the people he talks to, claiming that he wants to. Also, I want to watch you get raped. You keep talking about the voice call like I raped brutally. I saw some girl get raped on the bus today and I didn't do anything to stop it. I just froze and watched it happen. I want to lick your feet while you get raped and abused. I want to watch you get raped so badly. I want to rape you and turn you into a massive and rape you. I want to watch you get raped and have your virginity taken. Now, of course, this doesn't stop at random people on Discord. Allegedly, Calvin has 2 sisters, which he claims that he doesn't. Calvin has been upfront with saying that he would lick his sister's feet if they were hot and emo. Calvin also likes to fantasize about the people that he's dating as his younger sister, which is one of the most disturbing things I've ever heard. Now, Calvin claims that he doesn't even have sisters, but in this screenshot, he talks about his sisters. I do know that Calvin has sisters. Like, genuinely. I know Calvin has sisters. 2 of them. And it's really fucking gross the way he talks about them. Now, Mandrake lives in Maryland, where the age of consent is 16 years old. That is in every state. And you know what? I will read out exactly what Calvin said he did, and why the age of consent matters so much in this exact situation. Do you think I'll get in trouble with having sex with a 16-year-old at 20? I'm worried if anyone finds out about my ex, or if she finds my channel. Isn't 16 legal in your state? It wasn't legal in her state. Well, it was legal in yours. Unless you went to her state. I'm worried sometimes. I did. Calvin, this is you admitting that you crossed state lines to have intercourse with someone who is under the age of consent while you were 20. And you know what you did was wrong. Like, horribly wrong. You're scared about losing YouTube, which you rightfully should. You should lose YouTube. You shouldn't have a platform. You should be in prison. You admit that you are a predator multiple times. Let's take a look. Calvin just says, I'm a pedophile. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. This is right after he said that he crossed state lines to have intercourse with a 16-year-old. He says, dude, sometimes I get scared because I know I'll get exposed one day. Like, I'm a pedophile, dude. I'm not even joking. That's what he says. So where's this? There's no out of context defense. There's no just a joke defense, the only thing that he could claim is that this screenshot is fake. But it's not. It's not. There's video recording of this screenshot, of this entire conversation. It's not out of context, and it's not a fucking joke. Calvin made a response. He released a response document that he deleted 24 hours later. Why? Because this response is one of the worst responses I've ever seen on the internet. He becomes a full hypocrite, claiming that these screenshots are either taken out of context, lies, or jokes. But what Calvin does is he takes a screenshot out of context. One of Calvin's biggest faults here is he claims that Riri, the person who created the document, took screenshots out of context. And he claims that he had a screenshot of her admitting to it. Ironically enough, Calvin himself took this screenshot out of context and tried to play it off as evidence. As you can see here, Riri is not talking about the document. She's talking about the video that she responded to. You can see the reply thing above her message. She's replying to the video saying it's taken out of context. And we know this because we have the entire conversation with all of the context that Mandrake decides to omit by splitting it into 2 screenshots. Remember that screenshot of Calvin admitting that he had sex with a 16-year-old? He lies about that in the response, claiming, "She would say that me dating a 16-year-old at 20 was fucked up. I corrected her and told her I was 18 to 19 when we dated. She didn't push back on this. You think if she had a real screenshot of me admitting I was 20, she would send that. But no." Calvin, we have the screenshot and we have the video. But the absolute biggest thing that you can't fake here, Calvin, we have you admitting to these things publicly. We have audio of you admitting to being a predator.
I am a pedophile.
We have a screenshot and audio of you saying that you would continue your career even if you came out as one. And you think that people wouldn't care if you did, which isn't true. You're losing subscribers by the daily.
Maybe I should just admit that I'm a pedophile.
What do you think's gonna happen?
Nothing.
And you admit to exposing minors to pornographic material. You are knowledgeable about your crimes and you knowingly did them. You knew that there were 16-year-olds and you claimed that it was funny to show them porn. You lied about everything. You are a liar. There is no just joking. There is no out of context. There is no falsifying records. This is you admitting it, Calvin. And I'm sure you'll come back. Because you said you would. You thought you could hide behind all of that. But we know what you did. You admitted to what you did. You admitted to doing illegal activities over the internet.